Chapter 81, The Power Embodied in Fantasy, People's Perception of Things. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Blinking his eyes, Doraemon looked at Bai Xian and Huiyu. Do you want to use it? No, 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 no. Huiyu quickly shook his head and refused. She didn't think that these things could be used at first, although it turned out that they could only be used on the Earth, but for them, being able to use them on the Earth meant that there were no restrictions. Now, although there were some restrictions on the phone booth, it made her breathe a sigh of relief. If it can be used casually, it is really too scary, and Bai Xian, his ability can even manifest Doraemon. Even if it manifests, he can even use props. There is also the mobile phone of Shanyo. She can use the mobile phone twice with Monkey King. Although the Monkey King feels a little weaker, even pesticides can be poisoned, but is it always the Monkey King? There are still basic settings. Anyway, she is definitely not an opponent. Bai Xian was thinking about the reason why the phone booths were restricted. He was not confused about this, because he had an inevitable connection with the chat group and the recovery of spiritual energy. The power of Doraemon's props is limited to the Earth, and the reason is also related to him that if he used the phone booth to transform the world into a spiritual recovery, it would have completely reversed the cause and effect. If there is no aura, will the consciousness of the Earth still recover? Will Doraemon be realized again? Does Bai Xian still have the luck to be invited to the chat group? So it is bound to cause unknown consequences, but even if there are no consequences and it can be used at will, Bai Xian will not let the Earth return to its previous state. If he doesn't mind giving up everything now and returning to being an ordinary person, such a statement is too hypocritical. In fact, it is true, he has no reason to give up natural authority, let alone give up everything he has now. Even if Bai Xian is willing, are other people really willing? Ordinary people are willing to give up the chance of supernatural powers that might change their fate. Are the rich willing to give up Reiki that might extend their lives? Are scientists willing to give up the possibility of combining science and Reiki to create a new era? Maybe, but that's extremely unlikely. When will those things arrive? Bai Xian looked at Huiyu, and asked indifferently. Huh? Oh, those things are probably ready at night. Huiyu showed a puzzled expression, and then realized that Bai Xian asked her to collect something, and said quickly. How did you acquire this ability? Derivation of natural abilities. Just like what I said last time, Huiyu asked curiously. Power from another anime world. A special spell that can turn stillness into movement, and the revived items can break through the dimensional wall. Bai Xian shook his head and said, Jackie Chan's adventures does not exist in this world, so he didn't say much. Is it useful for the Divine Light Rod, the Armored Warrior Transformer, and the Devil Fruit? But even if the Divine Light Rod becomes real, it is only a light particle converter. Doesn't it require super ancient genes and giant stone statues in the host? Also, the Armor Warrior Transformer also needs light and shadow stones, 5-element bloodlines, and so on. Xing Tian in the second part also needs a contract. Should it be? I don't remember very clearly. I haven't watched the third one. Can this kind of realization be used? Huiyu looked at Bai Xian suspiciously, and said curiously. Normally, of course it won't work, but mine is special. If it is a rat spell, it is naturally impossible, but his ability is not only the ability of the rat spell, but a derivative of the rat spell absorbed by natural authority. What it needs is not a kind of logic, but human beings' recognition of it. It is not a setting, but an identification, that is, an impression of it or even a fantasy based on reality. For example, the Divine Light Stick, in people's general impression, it is used to transform into Tiga. It doesn't matter whether it is a light particle converter or a transformation device, and it doesn't matter if there are giant stone statues and super ancient genes. Important people think that the Divine Light Stick can transform into Tiga, and the Divine Light Stick displayed by Bai Xian can transform people into Tiga. What? You said that many people, like Huiyu, feel that a simple magic light stick cannot transform into Tiga. So what, do people all over the world who have seen Tiga think so? Do children know such details? Are those hearsays so refreshing? As long as there is one person who thinks that the Divine Light Rod can transform into Tiga, then Bai Xian can use this person to give the divine light rod such characteristics. The same is true for the armor warrior's transformation device, although many people know that transforming into a 5-element armor requires light and shadow stones and 5-element blood, but many people are not all of them. Otherwise, why so many people like to buy transformation toys so much when they were young, and imagine that they can transform into corresponding armor warriors? It is enough that someone thinks so. Of course, this is not without disadvantages. For example, devil fruits, it is impossible to give them the characteristics that they are not afraid of water and sea stones, but it's hard to say, maybe some people really think so. Does that mean you can? Although Bai Xian didn't say it clearly, you could understand what Bai Xian meant from what he said. Obviously, Bai Xian knew all about her question, but he didn't care about it, and the explanation he gave was that his ability was rather special. It's okay without saying no. Huiyu's eyes lit up. If the armored warrior can do it, then the Balala little demon fairy should also be able to do it, right? Guarding the sweetheart should not work, although that element has a bit of transformation, it can't be counted as such. What about Sakura? Clow card should work too, right? By the way, what is that company of heroes? Is it an anime? Why don't you have any impression? And what are the 3 kings of angels? The 3 kings of angels, as if thinking of something, Huiyu asked Bai Xian with some doubts. She has more or less seen other things, but she has never even heard of Xiongbing. What anime is that? Is it cool, or a niche fan? Bai Xian was stunned for a moment when he heard Huiyu's words. Isn't there a company of heroes in this world? He didn't seem to have seen it before, but it doesn't matter if he doesn't. He remembers part of the plot, which can be extended and created based on his memory. Not only heroes, Jackie Chan Adventures, Kamen Rider Heisei series, and Pokemon can all be created and published online. You can even make some novel animations and movies, but that's another matter. After all, the specific strength manifested by these things is still related to Bai Xian, and it won't have much effect on Bai Xian. Those things in the previous life are enough. Even if a horror fantasy drama is made, with full special effects and the most terrifying existence in it, its strength cannot be as strong as Bai Xian himself, so he puts more on the things he likes. End of this chapter. Chapter 82. 2 people in a parallel world, the left wing of the Holy Guard. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The appearance of Doraemon and Shanyo made Baishuan's villa lively. At least they won't make the 2 Pikachu feel lonely, and they will play with them when Hakujin is free. Before that, Shanyo and Doraemon will be very happy to accompany them. As for Doraemon, he is a parenting robot himself, and taking care of Pikachu is a piece of cake for him, coupled with the fact that special dishes are served every day, as well as his favorite dorayaki, and there are many anime and manga he has never seen. He is living a very happy life. Huiyu also brought over what Bai Xian asked for, and even gave some more. For example, Ba Lala Xiao Maxian's transformation device, the Clow card and Cardcaptor Sakura, etc. He didn't care, they were all used as experimental tools. If there is any variable that has happened these days, it is Uchiha Madara in the chat group. Although he has sold most of the ninjutsu training methods of the Uchiha clan, the points he has are not as good as the still alive Whitebeard and Daiko who sells monster corpses, but he has a lot of points. The opening of the chat group mall made him see the hope of resurrection, but although the products in it include items from the worlds of various group members, they are limited to items, bloodlines, abilities, etc. Neither corpses nor real people are included. As for pinning his hopes on the special shopping mall and updating something that can revive him, the possibility is even slimmer, although he believed that Kuroju would resurrect him. This time was too long, and the existence of Namikaze Minato would definitely disrupt his resurrection plan and make it even longer, but he can do nothing but wait for his resurrection. If there's anything the only joy of the day is, it's probably the lottery draw. Anyway, these points are of no use to him who is dead. After he is resurrected, a mere points can be easily obtained. Therefore, it is better to relieve his boredom, draw once a day and see what you can get. Naturally, needless to say, they are all useless things, only a little better than the pole with pole dancing skills, but just the day before yesterday, he smoked his body. Although it is an old body that needs to rely on the outsider golem to barely maintain its vitality, but for him who joined the chat group, his mere lifespan is already the least valuable thing. The most precious thing is those eyes of reincarnation. At the time when this body was in place, Nagato hadn't given those eyes of reincarnation to him yet, so, he lived, and used the remaining points to redeem life. Points can be exchanged for 1 year of life, although it was only 1 year, it was enough for him. Uchiha Dance King, that kid Nagato used my samsara eye well. Uchiha Dance King, it did not disappoint my vision. Uchiha Dance King, but now that I have been resurrected, he is not qualified to have these eyes again. The richest man in the lighthouse, is he dead? Uchiha Dance King, no. Uchiha Dance King, half dead or alive. Uchiha Dance King, this old body is difficult to exert my strength, and I used a little bit of strength. Ordinary group leader, so Lord Ban has 2 pairs of reincarnation eyes now. Ordinary group owner, did you sell a pair? Uchiha Dance King, I sold a pair to the chat group, it's just 100 million points, the recovery price is understandable. With 100 million points, he spent 20 to buy life, young and energetic body, peak strength, this is the state he Uchiha Madara should have. He originally wanted to sell the reincarnation eye to other people, but Daegu, the only one in the chat group who had points to buy it, refused. His physical condition is not enough to withstand the deprivation of the eyes of reincarnation. It is possible to transform into Dijiao, but that is useless to him, compared to the eyes of reincarnation. Daegu wants the cow charm more. With the Tijia plus cattle charm, the original 500 tons of power directly exploded into million tons. Which monster dares to resist my punch? Uchiha Dance King, I found an interesting thing. Uchiha Dance King, I am not in the same world as Namikaze Minato in the chat group. The Namikaze Minato in this world has already died in the Battle of Kyubi by sealing Kyubi. Gold Flash. Namikaze Minato showed a confused expression when he saw Uchiha Madara's information. We are not in the same world. I'm still dead in your world. What about Naruto? Don't you want to go through the same plot as in the memory dungeon? Be my son, does that mean you're from different worlds? Or are you both Hokage? Ordinary group leader, a parallel world. Ordinary group leader, I feel that this possibility is not much greater than the probability of 2 people joining a group in the same world. The richest man in the lighthouse. The richest man in the lighthouse, I feel that you seem to have overlooked a message. The richest man in the lighthouse, there was a reminder in the information when we joined the group that each world will only randomly select 1 person from the peak of luck. The richest man in the lighthouse, that is to say, there is only 1 in each world. The richest man in the lighthouse, you don't even know. This is something Tony Stark didn't expect, because it wasn't too early or too late for him to join the group, but it had already passed that time, and he didn't expect that they would not know that Uchiha Madara and Namikaze Minato came from the parallel world of Naruto world. Uchiha Dance King. Gold Flash. Ordinary group leader. Be my son, Ku La La La, seems to have ignored this message. The richest man in the lighthouse, it's not such important information after all. The richest man in the lighthouse, I just didn't think that you would not know. The richest man in the lighthouse, it's not right, it's too general. It feels like someone knows it, but they don't care about it. Worst elf, who knows? Child of nature, maybe no one really noticed. Uchiha Dance King. With such a tone, I don't believe the 2 of you who say that you didn't know. Ding, group member, Holy Guardian Left Wing, joined the chat group. Ding, group member, Tiandao Director General, join the chat group. The richest man in the lighthouse, hey, newcomers join the group. The richest man in the lighthouse, it seems that it hasn't been long since the Lord, has anyone joined so soon? Ganwumiai Xiaobu, welcome newcomers. Ganwumiai Xiaobu, the chat group is real. If you have doubts, you can think about it a little bit, and the corresponding information will appear in your mind. Ganwumiai Xiaobu, there are also copies of memories from other worlds in the group. Although they are in the form of animation, they are all real. Ganwumiai Xiaobu, if it doesn't convince you, you must not speak wild words or even slander the group members. If you do that, you may regret it. End of this chapter. Chapter 83. The Goddess of Guoman in your heart, where is Angel Yen ranked? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Electric shocker, speaking of which, I have to mention someone. The richest man in the lighthouse, what do you say, Holy Master, Holy Master. Ordinary group leader, the left wing of the Holy Guard, ordinary group leader, a company of heroes, ordinary group leader. However, there seem to be several holy left wings, and the most famous ones are Angel Yen and Liangbing. Ordinary group leader, but if it's Liangbing, it should be the king of demons. Ordinary group leader, it could also be running and angel chasing. Child of nature, there is one more, Angel Elon. However, there are very few plots of Angel Alan. He died in the arms of Queen Kaisha in the second battle between angels and demons, which was considered a flash in the pan. Ordinary group leader, Xiongming Company is actually pretty good, but I don't see much. Ordinary group owner, topcheek.jpg. Ordinary group leader, of course, this doesn't affect my feelings for Angel Yen. Ordinary group leader, among my favorite goddesses of Chinese comics, Yen can be ranked second. The richest man in the lighthouse. Who is the first? The richest man in the lighthouse, an angel too. Ordinary group leader, no, it's Yanlingji. Yanlingji, forever God. At the same time, the heroic soldiers connect the world. Inside a splendid and gorgeous palace, Angel Yen propped her chin up and looked at the scenery outside the window. During the 7,000 years of war, this had become one of the ways she adjusted her mentality, and just when she lost her mind looking at the scenery outside the window. Ding, a candidate group member has been detected, Angel Yen. Ding, do you want to join the superdimensional chat group? The cold voice of the machine rang in Yan's ears, and her eyes instantly changed from absent-minded to vigilant. Who are you? Ding, an inquiry from a candidate group member has been detected, and the basic information of the chat group has been entered into the host's mind. Ding, it is detected that the candidate group members have joined the group by default, and start joining. The voice fell, and the information about the superdimensional chat group was transmitted into Angel Yen's database. Angel Yen also browsed all the information about the superdimensional chat group in an instant. Can you connect to the chat group of the heavens and the world? It's interesting. There was a smile on the corner of Angel Yen's mouth. Let's go in and have a look. Ordinary group leader, are you Angel Yen, left wing of the Holy Guard, do you want me to be, or not? Ordinary group leader, that must be hope. Ordinary group leader, anyway, as long as it's not running. Ordinary group leader, but judging by the tone of your voice, you should be Yen, and you shouldn't be able to make fun of strangers if you chase after him. Ordinary group leader, do you need a copy of the memory of the Xiongming Company? Well, the copy of the memory is equivalent to the past and future of your world, but it is only for reference and may not be completely true. Su Yunqing said very eagerly, the worst elf, I feel that the group leader is very friendly to the newcomers, and he is going to send a memory copy before he has said anything. Golden Flash, although this attitude is not as good as Misaka Mikoto's, it's only slightly worse. Ganwumiai Xiaobu, what are the different levels of favorite anime characters? Kaian Wumiai Xiaobu, didn't the group leader say that the newcomer is her favorite character in Chinese manga besides Yanlingji? Ganwumiai Xiaobu, Bai Xian, do you know? Xiaobu curiously asked in a chat group. Bai Xian and the group leader are both travelers from the same planet, and many anime characters that the group leader knows are familiar with Bai Xian. If it was Bai Xian, he should be able to understand why the group leader was so excited. Son of nature, you will know when the group leader sends out the memory copy of Xiang Binglian World. Bai Xian didn't say much. The charm of each character can't be appreciated by words alone, whether it's Misaka Mikoto or Angel Yen, especially for those who like two-dimensional. The heroine they like is by no means someone who only has looks. Their unique characters, beliefs, and unique charm displayed in the plot are what they are liked and conquered. Of course he also has favorite anime characters. Angel Yen is naturally among them, tall but not cold, with a free and easy atmosphere in his pride, a firm heart willing to die for his beliefs, and his playfulness when getting along with his companions and Gu Xiaoluan in private is also very charming. Of course, it was because of her looks and those long legs that were as white as jade that she was first attracted to Angel Yen. Ordinary group leader, hey, I'm really a little excited. Ordinary group owner, because when I was traveling, there were not many more exciting Chinese comics. Ordinary Group Leader, Xiongbing Company is doing a good job in it, both in terms of worldview and character creation. Ordinary Group Leader, especially when he made an angelic oath to become Guxiaoluan's guardian angel, he was really charming. Ding, the group owner uploaded a memory copy. Ordinary Group Leader, although I don't know how far the plot has developed. Ordinary Group Leader, but as long as the Holy Kaisha is still there, the problem is not big. Before the Holy Kaisha goes offline, all ghosts and snakes dare not come out. Seeing Su Yunqing's last sentence, Angel Yan's eyes were a little dignified. As long as the Holy Kaisha is still there, does it mean that Queen Kaisha will go offline in the future? But who in the known universe can make Queen Kaisha offline? Morgana? Can she really do it? With doubts and doubts, Angel Yan opened the memory copy. At this moment in the chat group, another group member also made a voice, Director of Tiandao. Does it sound interesting to connect chat groups in different worlds? The richest man in the lighthouse. Did the newcomer speak? The richest man in the lighthouse. But it always feels a little strange. Why do other people join the group with nicknames, and yours is just a name? The richest man in the lighthouse, or is it your nickname? That the Director of Heavenly Law is your nickname. Director of the Way of Heaven, Grandma said, you are the one who walks the way of heaven and is in charge of all people. This is not only my name, but also my destiny. The richest man in the lighthouse. Glory of the God of the North. Wow, the glory of the North gods. I am Thor, the god of thunder, for the glory of the North gods. Glory of the Northern god. I don't think he's as handsome as this. Ganwumiai Xiaobu. I really want to be pretended. The richest man in the lighthouse. Aren't you surprised by joining the chat group? Director of Tiandao. Grandma said, I am the center of the world, and the whole world revolves around me. Director of Tiandao, since this is the case, the chat group will only choose one person to join the group in one world, so shouldn't it be natural to choose me? Director of Heavenly Dao, what should be a matter of course, why should I be surprised? The world of Kamen Rider, Director Tiandao looked at the information flashing on the screen from time to time, with an inexplicable look in his eyes, obviously. His current mood is not as calm as he said. End of this chapter. Chapter 84 Divine Kaisha's Teasing, Become a King, Yen. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The richest man in the lighthouse, is he pretending to be a contest? He is pretending to be a contest, the richest man in the lighthouse, this is better than pretending to be Mr. Ban. Uchiha Dance King. When did he pretend to compare? Those are all natural expressions of emotion. Ding, the group member, Son of Nature, uploaded a memory copy. Son of Nature, this is a memory copy of your world, you can take a look if you are interested. Child of Nature, it involves another sister of yours. Younger sister. Director of Heavenly Dao stared at him, besides Shuhua, does he have another sister? The following chat group fell silent, and they all began to look at the newly uploaded copies of their memories. Angel Yan has already read all the soldiers sent by Su Yunqing, and he also knows why Su Yunqing finally said that as long as Queen Kaisha is still there, all ghosts and snakes will not come out. Morgana and Karl, the god of death, joined forces. Queen Kaisha went offline, and she became the new king of angels. There are also Huayi and Triangle.I in the not-too-distant future. Will angels experience so many things? Angel Yen sighed, and the last trace of doubt about the chat group in his heart disappeared. Standing up, Angel Yen put on his armor and flapped his wings to fly into a gorgeous and sacred palace. At this time, the king of the gods, Holy Kaisha, was sitting on the throne with her legs crossed. She was not surprised when she noticed Angel Yan's arrival, but she was a little surprised by the heavy expression on her face. It seems that something interesting happened to you, otherwise you wouldn't have such an expression on your face. Tell me. Queen Kaisha, I can't tell you the specific things, because that existence does not allow me to reveal its name. I can only say that I met some people from other worlds because of its existence, and got a video from it. An anime about the past and future of our world. Angel Yen said respectfully. Cartoon. Holy Kaisha froze for a moment when she heard Angel Yan's words, and then said interestingly. Upload that animation to the terminal. There is also information about that existence that allows you to disclose. Yes, Angel Yen said respectfully, and then uploaded the memory copy of Xiongming Company and some information of the chat group to the terminal. After a quick look, Holy Kaisha tapped a few times on the armrest of the throne with her right hand. The heavens and the worlds connect the existence of different worlds. Only one person can join each world. You really joined a remarkable existence, Yen. Yo, Liangbing actually became an angel again for a girl, TSK, I didn't expect it. And Heshi, who is still so innocent after so many years, heh. For Kaisha, she has her own way of verifying the truth of things. Obviously, the information in this document did not make her suspicious, even a little funny. Queen Kaisha, you shouldn't be offline this time, right? Angel Yen blinked and looked at Holy Kaisha. As the closest warrior around Holy Kaisha, she could feel a little bit of Queen Kaisha's thoughts at that time. It seems that Queen Kaisha herself has the idea of going offline, but no matter what reason Queen Kaisha had, she didn't want to know, because for her, for all the angels, Queen Kaisha is faith, and their angelic instinct is to follow Queen Kaisha, even if she in the memory copy will become the king in the future. She is not willing to be the king. In her heart, there is only one king of the angel family, and that is the Holy Kaisha. And Holy Kaisha showed a playful smile when she heard Angel Yan's words. Who knows such a thing? Even if I'm offline, don't you still have you? Queen Yen said. Kaisha blinked her right eye at Angel Yen. In the memory copy, didn't you handle the angels well? With the existence of chat groups now, you should be able to improve faster. At that time, this position will be handed over to you. Huayi, Liangbing and Carl, they are your opponents. Don't let me down, Hiko. Angel Yen froze for a moment. This was not what she imagined. Shouldn't Queen Kaisha be planning to get rid of those scum after reading the memory copy, and guard against the gods of death? Carl and Morgana, how did you mention this place? The dazed Angel Yen was urged to leave the palace by Queen Kaisha, who seemed to be looking for Tianji Wang Heshi, left wing of the Holy Guard. I always feel that things are different from what I thought. Ordinary group leader, what happened? Son of Nature, should have told Holy Kaisha about the chat group and the Xiongming Company. Ordinary group leader, that should be pretty good, right? Ordinary group leader, Queen Kaisha who has read the memory copy should not be offline. Child of Nature, maybe. Son of Nature, but even if you don't go offline, you will give up the throne to Angel Yen. Son of Nature, maybe even Carl, Liangbing, and even Huayi, the god of death, won't move, but leave them to Yen. Holy Guardian left wing, how do you know? Angel Yen was a little surprised that the other party had guessed what Queen Kaisha was thinking. Ordinary group leader, Queen Kaisha really isn't going to do something to them. Carl and Liangbing are fine, isn't Huayi going to do it? This was completely unexpected by Su Yunqin, son of nature. From the perspective of the Holy Kaisha, it is impossible for her not to see the horror of the chat group, so she can naturally speculate how bright the future will be for Angel Yen who joined the chat group. Son of nature, without a doubt, whether it is talent or potential, Angel Yen is not inferior to Ani Sid, let alone join the chat group. Son of nature, so Angel Yen is the person who is most likely to lead the angel civilization to a stronger level, and is also the best choice for the next generation of king of angels. Son of nature, after becoming a king, what you need most is merit. Son of nature, of course Holy Kaisha can solve all the problems for Angel, but after that? What else does Angel need to do after becoming the king of angels? How many of the remaining angels will respect Angel like the Holy Kaisha? Son of nature, as for Queen Kaisha's offline angel family, they are too dependent on her. Son of nature, she sees the flaws of justice and order, just like Huaye's Tiangong order. Son of nature, but as long as she lives, the order of the angels will still be the order of justice, therefore, she must die. Son of nature, of course, these are just my guesses. It is also possible that Holy Kaisha has her own ideas, or it is just that Holy Kaisha is immortal and cannot lead to the following content. Son of nature, all in all, the appearance of the chat group has allowed Holy Kaisha to see a brand new development path for angel civilization, it is inevitable that Angel Yen will become king. End of this chapter. Chapter 85. Now, I hold the future in my hands. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Holy Kaisha is the king of the gods and the ruler of the angelic civilization for 3 years. Her thinking can never be guessed by anyone, at least Bai Xian didn't have the confidence. After all, the current Xiongbing company is not an animation work but a real world, and what they are facing is not the screenwriter and director, but the real angel civilization, the left wing of the Holy Guard. It seems so. Angel Yen had complicated eyes, but after all, she never thought about sitting in that position. It was so before, and it is so now. In her heart, only Holy Kaisha is the king of angels, ordinary group leader. In this way, is Yen and Guxiaoluan still possible? Ordinary group leader. After joining the chat group, Yan's potential should be much higher than Guxiaoluan's, right? Will Queen Kaisha push Yen to Guxiaoluan like the memory copy? Son of nature, it should depend on Angel Yen's own thoughts. Son of nature, after all, she is the crown prince now, isn't she the future king of angels? Son of nature, and this kind of thing is not impossible, just like Zhao Xian. His virtue star spear is only the genetic product of the second generation of God-making project, and his heart-burning potential as a disciple of the divine right wing and Tianji Wang Heshi is very different. If it wasn't for Zhixin's help, the future is already doomed. Son of nature, but didn't Holy Kaisha still betroth Zhixin to Xian Zhao? But even though this is said, the situation of Angel Yen is completely different from that of Xian Zhao and Xian. Angel does not lack the resources to train Xian Zhao, but the special existence of the chat group is doomed that Angel Yen's future achievements are definitely far from being comparable to the power of the galaxy. Of course, they can spend resources to cultivate the power of the galaxy, and cultivate the power of the galaxy to the point where it matches Angel Yen. But is it really worth spending so many resources? Compared to cultivating the power of the galaxy, wouldn't it be better for them to use these resources on angel civilization? Or you can find a potential person directly from the chat group, the richest man in the lighthouse. Headache.jpg. The richest man in the lighthouse. I saw an angel and thought it was a fairy tale, but I didn't expect it to be science fiction. The richest man in the lighthouse, it feels a little scary. Tony Stark rubbed his head. Anyway, he felt that the battle in the World of Heroes company was more like a scientific battle, just like the battle between the Holy Kaisha and Morgana was almost entirely a data battle. Anyway, it taught them more science than that purple potato with gloves on and fists. The more he reads the memory copy of his world, especially in the back, magic, infinite gems, gods. He feels that his world is becoming more and more unscientific, although there is an intersection between science and mystery. Forget it. It can only be said that his knowledge is too low. Ganwumiai Xiaobu. Have you finished watching? Ganwumiai Xiaobu. Shocked.jpg. So many episodes. Finished watching so soon. This is definitely not human speed. The richest man in the lighthouse. No, I just took a quick look at it. Ganwumiai Xiaobu. Scare me.jpg. Boil daegu into soup. I'm looking at a copy of the memory of the world of Tiandao Zongxi. Boil daegu into soup. How should I put it? My mind is complicated after I am complete. It is worthy of being able to say the way of going to heaven in the chat group, the person in charge of everything. What he said in the memory copy is really one set after another. His grandmother is too good at teaching grandchildren. Worst elf. Agree.jpg. The worst elf. I feel like he's better than Master Ban in this aspect. Electric shocker, and it is the kind that will not be influenced by the outside world. For him, this is not a shameful word, but he thinks so. But he said with a blank face, I am the center of the world or something. I feel a little ashamed when I think about it. Cover your face. At the same time, Kamen Rider Kato World, director Tiandao, who had already quickly browsed through the memory copy, was silent. Ordinary futures didn't interest him at all, but regarding his younger sister, of course he gave the most absolute importance. Nothing is more important than a sister. Now that he knows some things from the copy of memory, he must also change some things. And in front of the director of Heavenly Tao, a middle-aged man appeared at some point. In his calm eyes, the man's body glowed with a strange light, and the skin on his body quickly fell off, turning into an ugly Zerg. As for the original man, he had already been devoured by the Zerg. This is the sad part of this world. you have no way of knowing whether the person you are with day and night is someone you know, but this sad era is coming to an end, and a new era will be opened by him. Grandma said, as long as I wish, fate will definitely be on my side, that the director of Heavenly Tao said plainly, at the same time a red mechanical unicorn flew into his hand. Now, the future is in my hands. Henshin, transformation, that with the entry of Tiandao Shoji and Angel Yen into the group, the chat group became lively again. Bai Xian was also delighted with Angel Yen's joining the group. After politely asking Tian Yen if he has time recently, Bai Xian communicated with Tian Yen for a long time, from the universe to civilization, and finally to human beings themselves. This human being is not a human being, but a creature with a certain level of intelligence, their own language and civilization. It is not so much a communication as a consultation. Bai Xian has his own philosophy, whether it is dealing with civilization or other things. But as a warrior with more than 7,000 years of experience, Angel Yen cannot be relied on by Bai Xian in terms of knowledge or knowledge. After all, Bai Xian has not long since stepped into the transcendent, and the knowledge storage that the earth currently possesses is naturally far inferior to that of the angel civilization, a top-level civilization that has developed for tens of thousands of years. The heights they stand at and the angles of looking at things are completely different. Just like ordinary people and high-ranking people, in the process of communication, Bai Xian can perceive the breadth of Angel Yan's view of things. As the Holy Left Wing and the future King of Angels, Angel Yen is not only a warrior, but also a scholar with self-awareness of civilization and things. Even if she didn't study this aspect seriously, the civilization and height she lived in gave her a very high foundation. Being by the side of Holy Kaisha for a long time, she was naturally influenced by Holy Kaisha. According to the righteous order of the Holy Kaisha, the development of civilization in the universe should be in a peaceful and stable development. Even if there is a war, it should be an internal war rather than an external influence. They hope that all civilizations can achieve a breakthrough in civilization and sublimate to a new level in a peaceful environment with the passage of time. In the anime of Shongbing Company, Angel Jishin once said a word. I cannot allow a civilization to invade a weak civilization under my nose. Obviously, the invasion of the earth by the gluttonous civilization violates the justice and order of the Holy Kaisha, but according to the order of justice, the angels will not directly attack the gluttonous civilization because of the behavior of the gluttonous civilization, but will leave this choice to the earth, and the result is self-evident. The earth civilization rejected the angels' help, of course. This does not mean that their decision-making is wrong, but a two-way problem. End of this chapter. Chapter 86. The current strongest in the chat group. No order is perfect. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The entry of the Taotai civilization is just the beginning, and just driving the Taotai out is far from enough for this war. Even once this war is led by angels, many people will think that angels brought the war to the earth, and then did incomprehensible things. So this first battle must be fought by humans themselves, so that humans can recognize this war. The essence is to jointly resist foreign aggression. The Holy Kaisha is naturally a choice to respect the civilization of the earth, and it descended to the sky over the East China Sea later because of Morgana. As Ducao said, light and darkness are at war, justice and evil are at war, and life and death are at war. As for the justice and order of the angels, Bai Xian didn't have any opinion. After all, the Chinese civilization itself is not a nation that likes to invade, whether it is from history, biography, or the scriptures of ancestors. Now Huaxia also reciprocates this principle, and treats other countries with courtesy. Coexists peacefully, and makes progress together. Just as Bai Xian can understand justice and order from the communication with Angel Yen can also understand Bai Xian's thinking concepts from the conversation with Bai Xian. Although their concepts are different, they are very similar. The relationship between the two has become more and more familiar and close in the communication. This has nothing to do with love, just conceptual recognition. The communication with Angel Yen played a very important role in Baishuan's worldview. Angel Yen himself did not hold back the slightest request for Baishuan's advice, and even the Holy Kaisha knew that there was a newly acquired god's authority, a somewhat confused new god. Yes, their evaluation of Bai Xian is a new god who is growing. Bai Xian has never hidden his ability, so Angel Yen easily learned of Baishuan's ability from the chat group, natural authority, which can manipulate various elements in the natural world, even conceptual abilities. In terms of mystery, Baishuan's potential is unlimited, and in order to prevent this new god who doesn't have much experience from going astray in his pursuit, Holy Kaisa also hopes that Angel Yen can guide Bai Xian well. In the follow-up communication, Bai Xian could clearly feel that Angel Yen's teachings to him were gradually deepening, and even had a sense of preaching, but he doesn't care about that. As he said before, he has his own beliefs and the path he insists on. He may be confused about the future, but that doesn't mean he will follow other people's ideas at will. He will only absorb what he agrees with in other people's ideas. Another point is that he does not reject the concept of angels. Perhaps the angels are very arrogant, and they have obvious arrogance when communicating with others, but they have such confidence and capital, as the strongest civilization in the known universe, as the warriors of the Holy Kaisa, the king of the gods. If even they don't have such confidence, who has it? Their civilization predestined that they should stand in the sky and be proud. If the Chinese civilization has the same power as the angel civilization, then he may not be so humble. Even if it looks humble, the arrogance in the heart is inevitable. Of course, such arrogance is not shown in the chat group by Angel Yen. In the super god universe, the angel civilization is the most powerful civilization, the top civilization, but in other universes, it is not. Among other things, even if it is just the current chat group, the power of angel civilization is not the strongest. In the high martial world where the group leader Su Yunqing lives, it is said that high-level practitioners have the ability to destroy planets, and the strongest can even reverse time. In the battle world where Tokisaki Kurumi lives, the power possessed by the Siyuan elves cannot be destroyed by the angel civilization on the technological side, not to mention the forbidden world where Misaka Mikoto lives. The power possessed by the devil god is beyond the comprehension of current technology. But there is an undoubted strongest in the chat group at present, the glory of the northern god, the son of Hong Qigong, Thor, the god of thunder, because he is God, true God. Even if it appears as a funny character, its strength cannot be denied. What's more, those black technologies in the 10 cold world are not much inferior to the Doraemon world. Dimensionality reduction strikes, causal laws, and conceptual weapons are all available, even if it's a bit nonsensical. Therefore, in the chat group, everyone communicates on an equal footing, and no one will feel superior to others because of their own strength. As for whether there is an absolute error in the righteous order of Holy Kaisa, such thinking is meaningless. No order is perfect. For people like them with a long lifespan, it's no big deal to make mistakes, just to improve slowly. What cannot be made, no matter how beautiful the future created by language, is an unrealistic fantasy. Under the water of time, Bai Xian grew rapidly, from thinking to the perspective of looking at things, and then to the continuous progress of natural authority, in addition to communicating with Angel Yen. These days, he also optimized some animations and special dramas in his memory that do not exist in this world, and then uploaded them to the internet. The Heisei series from Kamen Rider from Kuga to King of Time, Pokemon from the 1st generation to the 8th generation, as well as Xiongbing Company and One Under One. Even Huiyu made a website for them and then promoted it. There is no doubt that these animations are excellent, not to mention that Bai Xian has optimized them and adjusted the special effects. Not long after the release, many people are addicted to them. Although now is the era of spiritual recovery, it is clear that the vast majority of people are still ordinary people, or ordinary people with weak supernatural powers. They still need to work and relax, and these excellent anime and special dramas are their best good way to relax. Of course, these are only for those who like to watch, and those who don't like to watch don't notice at all. For a while, many people who like to watch anime were a little surprised. How come there are so many well-made animations and special shots, and some even put several series at once, accumulated goods? Although a little puzzled, they were still very happy to watch. This point, Bai Xian can see from the characteristics that can be given to the opponent. In my previous life, I should have been a dead house that many people envied, right? Bai Xian looked at the orderly and numerous figurines in the room. A smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Transformers of Ultraman such as Tiga, Dinah, Gaia, and next, transformers for armored warriors such as Yanlong, Fengying, Black Rhinoceros, and Snow Mastiff. There is also my Yagyu, Frieza's belt, Kabuto's insect instrument, W's drive, Wang Xiaoming's magenta camera. End of this chapter. Chapter 87. The fire feather rejected by Yanlong, the second aura tide. You are listening at novelfull.audio. There are even a large number of devil fruits. For this reason, Bai Xian even asked Whitebeard for the devil fruit illustration book, and uploaded it to the forum of One Piece. All devil fruits in the illustration are here. Speaking of which, what are you going to do when you materialize these things? Standing beside Bai Xian, Yu asked curiously, because Bai Xuan's strength is already invincible on the earth. According to Bai Xian, these things can't make his strength stronger. After all, they were created by Bai Xian himself, and the upper limit is also improved with Bai Xian. Since they can't become stronger, what's the use of realizing them? It can't just be a collection, right? It's of no use at the moment. Bai Xian said lightly, and casually picked up a banana-shaped devil fruit. When the time is right, I will send part of this place to various regions of the world. Although these items can't make him stronger, they have an extremely powerful effect on any supernatural beings on the earth except him, and the improvement of their strength will promote the enhancement of Bai Xuan's strength, not only the devil fruit, but also the 5-shaped light and shadow armor, various transformation devices of Kamen Rider, Ultraman transformation devices, and even those magic cards and ninjutsu scrolls. As for who can get it, who will be chosen by the power of light? Then leave it to fate to choose. Yu stared at Bai Xian with wide eyes, and then looked at the objects in front of him. Sending these things to various regions of the world means no more. Forget about devil fruit or something. Bah, this can't be counted. Among other things, ordinary firearms are ineffective against the elementalization ability of the natural devil fruit. And if it depends on luck, what if the winner is not a good person? The most important thing is the Ultraman transformer. If the person who gets it is a person with strong ambitions, they will not be able to punish it for the time being. There is no need to worry about the power of armor and Ultraman. Not everyone can get it. As for the devil fruit, even if I set the rules, people with evil hearts can't get it. But what about people who become ambitious because of their power after eating the devil fruit? What about those mutated creatures? The important thing is never power, but people's ideas. Bai Xian's eyes were calm. In fact, how many devil fruits are there in total, compared with the huge number of human beings and mutated creatures on the earth? It is not worth mentioning at all. What's more, is the power of the devil fruit stronger than the ability? Of course not. The power potential is much higher than the devil fruit, since the country can be easily governed under the circumstances of the awakening of the whole people. What if there are more devil fruits? Not to mention the armor, Ultraman and Kamen Rider powers of those who would pick the righteous. Furthermore, these devil fruits he manifested still have the flaw of being afraid of sea water. If it cannot be suppressed under such circumstances, it would be too unreasonable. Choose one, for the sake of your busy schedule for me. Bai Xian pointed to the things in front, and casually said to Yu, it was because of Yu's help that he was able to manifest so many things in such a short time. Hearing Bai Xian's words, Yu's eyes lit up, and she couldn't wait to point to the fire light and shadow armor summoner on the left, which was the flame dragon summoner. Yes, if you can get it to admit it. Bai Xian shrugged and said nonchalantly. Roar. As soon as Yu put his hand on it, there was a huge vibration from the Yanlong summoner, and the strong repulsive force directly shook Yu's arm away. This is me, not selected. Some hesitantly, Yu pointed at himself. Don't doubt it, you just don't get its approval. Bai Xian nodded. Why? Who knows, maybe your justice doesn't fit it. The content of justice is too broad. Perhaps for Yanlong, the justice in Yu's heart is not in line with it, or, it already has a desired owner on earth. That's a pity. Yu shook her head with some regrets. She felt that she and Yanlong were quite compatible, then walked to the other side, picked up a natural-type devil fruit with flame runes on its outside. It was Ace and Yanlong from Pirate World, the devil fruit that Saron ate, the burning fruit. Choose it, it matches you. Fire Feather is a fire attribute summoning ability, and the compatibility between burning fruit and her is quite high, although from the setting point of view, the magma fruit is the superior level of burning fruit, but in fact this superior level is not crushed in terms of temperature. There is no doubt that the upper temperature limit of the flame is higher than that of magma, but this does not mean that the flame can burn magma, because the essence of magma is rock melted by high pressure. And high temperature inside the Earth's core, it does not burn itself, nor can it be ignited by fire. In addition, magma will swallow flames, and the higher the temperature of the flame, the higher the temperature of the magma, and devouring flames makes the magma more powerful. Burning fruit is the purest fire element. Bai Xian tapped the void with his index finger, and a golden force was injected into the burning fruit. I endowed Fearless with the characteristics of sea water in this world, so I can help you. A devil fruit that is afraid of sea water, the flaw is too obvious. Thank you. As a result of Huiyu's delight, he burned the fruit and put it into the space ring, then suddenly thought of something, and asked hesitantly, That's what it tastes like. It should be even more unpalatable than you imagined. Bai Xian nodded affirmatively. After Huiyu left, Bai Xian stretched his waist, teased Pikachu who was sleeping soundly in Doraemon's arms, and went to prepare food for them. The food for him and Doraemon is naturally in charge of a dedicated chef team, but Pikachu eats more energy cubes. In the past, it was purchased from Miao Miao, and after the fruit he planted matured, Bai Xian did it for him. Because of the nourishment of aura, the energy cubes made from the fruit grown in his world are better in taste and energy, and are more beneficial to Pikachu's growth. Suddenly, Bai Xian stopped in his footsteps, and looked out the window thoughtfully. The second aura tide, is it here? Boom! 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 In the void, terrifying bangs sounded continuously. Countless liquid-like colorful gas flows out of the void, spirals and flows into the earth. Second Reiki tides, the unimaginably majestic aura that is so thick that it melts flows into the earth from the void. Then with the earth as the center, countless auras began to permeate the surrounding planets, the Sun, the Moon, Venus, Mercury, Jupiter. Every planet trembled. End of this chapter. Chapter 88, Natural Authority, Transformation, Gradually Nihilistic Attitude. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Obviously, the aura tide this time far exceeds the initial aura storm, and these auras spreading in all directions, even many of them passed through the cracks in space and spread to deeper places, unknown world. I thought that in the Dharma ending era, practitioners would no longer have a chance to reach the top. I didn't expect that I would encounter spiritual recovery. It's true that God has eyes. In such a golden age, I will rise up and climb to the highest peak of practice. In the unknown world, an old man in a green robe said loudly with tears in his eyes, then his face became younger and younger at a speed visible to the naked eye, until it turned into a youthful posture. Bai Xian didn't know anything about the other world, even if it wasn't for natural authority to remind him. He wouldn't have expected the second aura tide to come so soon, and the amount of aura this time far exceeded his imagination. At this time, where the aura of the earth spreads, flowers, plants and trees are in full bloom, countless medicinal materials and fruits begin to transform under the impact of aura, and become real treasures of heaven and earth. Some kind of unknown change. Human beings and mutated creatures are also undergoing a new round of transformation under the baptism of spiritual energy. In the endless deep sea, terrifying aura fluctuations rushed in all directions. Roar, that the entire ocean vibrated, and countless sea creatures swam and roared recklessly, accepting the baptism of spiritual energy. Gradually, their bodies changed more wonderfully than at the beginning. The body continued to swell, and the scales on it became harder and even shone with a faint silver light. Then, before they recovered from the baptism, a terrifying suction swallowed them all. Roar! Terrifying roars resounded across the ocean, and a giant white python with a length of hundreds of meters was swimming in the ocean. Wherever it passed, countless auras poured into its body, and the sound of thunder could be faintly heard. The most unbelievable thing is that there are two constantly surging sarcoids on its head, and golden light also emerges from the cold pupils. Those are definitely not the eyes of a snake. More like a dragon. At the same time, in the unknown mountains, a huge crimson giant tiger is entrenched in the mountain, receiving the baptism of spiritual energy. Roar! That with a loud roar, endless spiritual energy poured into its animal body, and a crimson lotus mark appeared on its forehead. Clearly visible doubts and confusion were revealed in the majestic eyes. Then continue to close your eyes, absorbing the majestic aura and the space. Throughout the earth, countless creatures are undergoing transformation, but this time the amount of aura is far from what it was last time. And it is far less gentle. Some creatures can bear it, but naturally there are Creatures that cannot bear it. Boom. 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 In the depths of the forest, countless creatures were unable to withstand the impact of the spiritual energy, their bodies exploded directly, and the blood stained the ground red. If you bear it, you will ascend to heaven; if you can't bear it, you will explode and die. More changes are still happening. Sometimes, transcendence is not as beautiful as people imagined, and the acquisition of power always has to pay an unbearable price. In Huaxia territory, in various aura bureaus. Although we had envisioned the arrival of the aura tide, we didn't expect it to be so fast, or even violent. Even for me, it's a bit unbearable. Ningguang felt the aura surging in the air, and couldn't help sighing. Then he sighed again. The scariest thing is not the aura, but our instinctive need for aura. The emptiness that comes from the soul will manipulate our body to absorb the aura more deeply even if it reaches the limit. The outcome of this can only be evolution or death. If you make it through, you will reach the sky in one step; if you can't make it, you will die. I just hope that everyone's fear of danger can make them suppress their soul's desire, otherwise, the casualties this time will be too great. The point is that such casualties cannot be controlled and avoided, and all they can rely on is people's fear, or, if their talent is too low, even the aura tide will not pour too much aura into their bodies, which is also a way to avoid death. Before Ningguang could sigh, a huge spot of light appeared on his screen. Ningguang's face changed, and he said quickly. Aura riots, people with supernatural powers are out of control. Notify nearby Reiki Bureau members for support. You continue to observe, I will rush over now. The aura riots of the supernatural beings represent uncertainty. This time is different from the gentle awakening of supernatural powers last time, and the power of the supernatural powers awakened by most people at that time was extremely weak, but this time is different. If it really transforms this time, it almost means that it is not inferior to Huiyu, Qin Tian and others in terms of destructive power. The destructiveness of their riots is unquestionable and must be controlled from the very beginning. This will ensure minimal casualties. This kind of situation didn't just happen here in Ningguang, there were such aura riots in various cities in China. The whole world was also undergoing earth-shaking changes because of the second aura tide. A new era has arrived. Bai Xian sat cross-legged on the bed. At this moment he was already covered by colorful lights. The second tide of aura is simply a terrifying transformation and sublimation for the earth. Whether it is human beings, animals, or plants, as long as they survive it, they will have an earth-shaking improvement. Because of this, Bai Xian's strength is almost incomprehensible. The speed is constantly increasing, physique, spirit, and the ability derived from natural authority, the sky, the earth, the mountains, the woods, the streams, the ocean. One after another natural scenes flowed and replaced in his eyes, and finally the whole earth appeared in his mind. His spirit transformed into a pair of huge golden eyes, above all living things. Ding! The second aura tide is detected. Natural authority is transforming. Increasing organic coverage. The concept of natural reference is increasing. The mechanical and cold voice resounded in Bai Xian's mind. It seemed to be the voice of a chat group, but it was different. Specifically, Bai Xian didn't have extra thoughts to distinguish, and at this moment he was fully receiving the aura title. As time goes by, the aura on Bai Xian's body becomes weaker and weaker. Even if you sit here cross-legged, although you can see him with your eyes, you can't help but ignore him. At this moment, Bai Xian seems to be in harmony with nature. As one, and within Bai Xian's body, the original flesh and blood gradually became transparent and pure, as soft and pure as crystal, but there was a sense of nothingness, as if out of reach. End of this chapter. Chapter 89. The small world born in the body, the hell on earth after the tide of spiritual energy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bai Xian's heart was also enveloped by a soft light. Every time it beat, he could feel his body undergoing a new transformation. Just as he was immersed in cultivation, his consciousness gradually fell into a coma. When his consciousness regained consciousness again, his whole body had already appeared in an unknown space, thousands of miles of mountains and rivers, overgrown with vegetation. Bai Xuan's line of sight almost covered endless beauty, rivers, weeping willows, bamboo forests. Flowers. There is no doubt that this world contains rich vitality. even Bai Xian could perceive that this world contained a more intense aura than the real world. Natural authority also gave him the information of this world at this time, a small world different from reality, which only belongs to Bai Xian's world. There is no upper limit in this world. The stronger Bai Xian's strength, the wider its scope and the greater the aura it contains. As for the reason for its creation, the world consciousness did not tell him the answer. It seemed that this world played a very important role in his future growth. Bai Xian touched the ground under his feet, and picked up a stone casually, with a look of surprise in his eyes. He actually sensed a lot of aura from this casually picked stone. Lingshi. It seems understandable in this way, but is this number too large? Bai Xian looked at the rocks everywhere on the ground. They seemed to be no different from the one in his hand. The only difference was the amount of aura. What a great handwriting. Although there is a reason for the size, the aura contained in this world is indeed too rich and a bit too much. If even stones can be turned into spirit stones, what will these flowers, plants, trees, fruits, and streams look like? Are all the treasures of heaven and earth? Bai Xian shook his head. His current state of mind is pretty good, although he is a little surprised by this small world, but he has not reached the point of losing his composure. In the future, you can buy some animals and put them in this small world, otherwise it seems a little lonely. Pokemon can also buy some. I think they should like this world. It can be regarded as giving Pikachu some more playmates. With a thought, Bai Xian's consciousness broke away from this space, and then looked at the place in the room where the manifested items were stored. When Bai Xian was being baptized, some items quietly disappeared. I just said that the time has not come yet, but I didn't expect it to come so soon. I don't know, who can get them? Bai Xian smiled, and continued to prepare food. The tide of aura came too fast. It is estimated that Pikachu and the others will be hungry later. It's just that compared to the tranquility here in Bai Xian, other places are not so peaceful. The impact of the second aura tide is too great for both humans and creatures. If someone has attracted a large amount of spiritual energy due to their talent, but fails to survive, resulting in a spiritual riot, it will be an extremely terrifying thing for the nearby humans. Boom, that accompanied by a loud shock, terrifying flames erupted from an apartment, and then wrapped the entire apartment in it. The blazing high temperature was accompanied by countless explosions, and when the people from the Reiki Bureau arrived here, what greeted them was hell on earth. At the same time, in the streets and shopping malls, countless people burst into pools of blood because they couldn't bear the baptism of spiritual energy, wailing, screaming, crying. The world is in chaos. Dad, Mom, where are you? I didn't mean to, Dad, I really didn't mean to. Following the reaction of the spiritual energy, the people of the Spiritual Energy Bureau found the source of the explosion, a little girl who had awakened the talent of fire. At this time, she curled up and hid in a corner. On the ground were two scorched and inhuman corpses. Regarding this, Ningguang and the others also sighed, and then took her away. This is the only thing they can do. Compared with the initial mild national awakening, the aura tide this time is obviously much more violent. I don't know how many casualties will be caused this time. Wow, out with a crisp bird song, countless birds in the sky flapped their wings and rushed towards the ground. Not only them, but also mutated beasts that appeared from nowhere, wolves, mice, ants, wild cats, stray dogs. Their eyes were red, and they rushed towards humans with endless madness. Maybe it's because humans have some benefits for them, or maybe they just don't have the instinct after consciousness, but in fact, there is no need for any reason at all. Mutant beasts are the enemy of human beings, and humans are also enemies of mutant beasts. They can't get along, and have no reason to get along. Different races are destined to have their own positions. The present Earth is dominated by human beings. Although the previous revival of spiritual energy gave the mutated beasts some not-so-weak abilities, they were still extremely vulnerable in front of humans. At that time, they could not affect the position of the human overlord, but this time is different. The aura tide this time gave them the possibility to challenge the human overlord in the future. As their intelligence increases, they will eventually have other ideas. Who stipulated that in this world, humans should stand at the top of the pyramid? Why can't it be them? At that time, perhaps every top mutant beast would have countless groups under its command, and they would pose a great threat to human beings. Therefore, before that, human beings must suppress them at all costs. having wisdom does not mean that you can communicate peacefully. You give them kindness, but they will not repay you with kindness, and the most important point, Earth's resources are limited. Even though the aura recovers, countless plants and creatures mutate, but resources are still limited. Humans occupy the most abundant resources on land, so are they just watching these resources being taken away by humans? Impossible. Therefore, instead of being merciful and waiting for the rise of mutant beasts with a wait-and-see attitude, it is better to suppress them all from the very beginning. Human beings can be kind, they can have compassion, they can have absolute goodwill towards things, but these things are based on the status of human beings. Before that, human beings are not qualified to have mercy on any existence that may threaten them. Boom. 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 Firepower strafed, artillery suppressed, one after another. Members of the Reiki Bureau waved their abilities to suppress the mutated beasts in front of them. Their faces were filled with determination and excitement. They had been waiting for this day for a long time. The surrounding people watched this scene, and they couldn't help but feel a special emotion in their hearts. End of this chapter. Chapter 90. The Mutant Beast Observation Center of the Imperial Capital, the Mutated Panda Bao. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The ordinary daily life seems to be broken. Next will be a new era. It is precisely because of the war in front of them that they understand more clearly that the awakening of supernatural powers at the beginning was not a beautiful era for human beings, but an era that is beautiful for all creatures on the entire earth. But before welcoming this era, there will always be some people who will be sacrificed. Either they cannot bear the baptism of the new era, or they want to protect the people like them, and this period of time is extremely long. Maybe they will not have the chance to wait for that beautiful era. The world has changed, the world has really changed. Damn it, I thought about this day when I awakened the power before, but I didn't expect it to come so suddenly. I wasn't prepared at all. According to the novel, this should be the second aura storm. The first one was too gentle, but this time it is the normal amount. Those mutated beasts really failed suddenly. Can you believe that a mouse is half the size of me? That's a mouse. What is this? There are mutant mice in the previous video of the military region, but they are not that big. It's not just those beasts. I feel that my abilities have also become stronger. I'll try to kill 2 mutant beasts later. It's not a problem to stay at home. In the Imperial capital, in the headquarters of the Reiki Bureau, Qin Tian, who was being baptized by spiritual energy, opened his eyes suddenly. His originally black pupils turned into golden vertical pupils in an instant. His whole body was covered by hard scales, and his whole body exuded a majestic aura. Aura tide, my dragon ability has changed. Now I need to choose a direction: black dragon, golden dragon, blue dragon, red dragon. If there are racial differences, I must choose Yanlong. As one of the Yanlong 4 holy beasts, he will not have the slightest hesitation, but unfortunately, this is just a race, and the difference is only in strength. A mutation has been detected at the observation center for mutated beasts in the Imperial capital. Please ask Qin Tian, the head of the Reiki headquarters of the Imperial capital, to go to support immediately after waking up. Glancing at the communicator, the information on it changed Qin Tian's expression. The Mutated Beast Observation Center of the Imperial Capital gathers the mutated beasts that appeared in the Imperial Capital and even several nearby cities for experiments and observations. The observed ones there are all the mutated beasts that emerged after the first spiritual energy recovery. Not only are there special beast masters to communicate with them, but there are also special armed personnel to suppress them. Under normal circumstances, it is impossible for him to receive the information, but obviously, the mutation this time is beyond their imagination. Roar! But without stopping for a moment, Qin Tian turned into a phantom in the shape of a dragon and rushed towards the observation center. At the same time, the Imperial Capital Mutated Beast Observation Center. Boom! 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 A mutated wild boar kept hitting the glass in front of it. It was made of specific materials, and under normal circumstances, even missiles couldn't penetrate it. No matter how hard the mutated wild boar tried, it didn't leave the slightest trace on it, and at this moment, the unknown black horns on the mutated wild boar shone with black luster, and then the red-eyed mutated wild boar charged again, terrifying power poured on the special glass. And cracks like spider webs appeared on it, not only him, mutant tigers, mutant lions, mutant orangutans. All the mutant beasts imprisoned here have undergone unimaginable changes. Although a few burst because they couldn't bear the baptism of spiritual energy, the others all gained the power of terror. Fire. Bang bang bang. The previous mutated wild boar rushed out, its scarlet eyes fixed on the human in front of it. The bullet hit its body like it hit steel, leaving no scars. Boom. Waving its limbs, the mutated wild boar rushed towards it like a cannonball, accompanied by howling wind, but at this moment, it was surrounded by countless grasses and trees, and its limbs were bound by the shimmering green grass, making it unable to move. All staff flee quickly and don't stay here. We can't hold on for long, run away. That the supernatural being stationed here used supernatural powers to restrain these mutated beasts and said loudly, they didn't realize that a mutated white snow leopard was occupying its body, its pupils were full of coldness and ferocity. Boom. In an instant, accompanied by a sound explosion, the mutated snow leopard pierced through the space and rushed towards a supernatural user, and right now. Boom. A black and white figure blocked its attack, and its soft and hard stomach shook it off like a trampoline. When flying out, the snow leopard's eyes revealed a slight bewilderment. Ah Bao? The supernatural person looked at the mutated panda standing in front of him and asked in confusion, other beasts can mutate, so naturally pandas can too, and because most pandas are raised by humans, they don't hurt people. Even during the global awakening, their bodies changed and they didn't make any movements. If it wasn't for their soaring food intake, no one would even notice the changes. A bao is the name of a panda, and it is also the one with the largest appetite among the mutant pandas. B. Although his body has mutated and his wisdom has also increased, a bao's attitude towards humans has not changed at all. After hearing his name called by the supernatural being, his soft head also lowered and rubbed against his neck, then he raised his head and looked at the mutated beasts running out of the observation area. Roar. A majestic beast roar resounded through the sky. After hearing this voice, those mutated beasts looked at a bao with a trace of fear in their eyes. Obviously, Po's strength is no worse than them, even stronger than them. What the revival of spiritual energy awakens is the power of ancient myths that exists in the blood, and the giant panda was an existence called an iron-eating beast in the past, Chiyu's mount. In terms of strength alone, he is not afraid of any beasts. The huge body exudes a color like steel. An acceleration directly grabs the neck of the mutated wild boar that was restrained before, ignoring its struggling posture, pinches its head, lifts it up, and smashes it hard to the ground. Boom! 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 Accompanied by the violent vibration, the mutated wild boar was played with by Bao wantonly like a toy. No matter how angry his eyes were, no matter how much his body struggled, this situation could not be changed. It seemed that he was tired of playing, or he found that the mutant wild boar could not be killed by a simple blow, so he stretched out the sealed claws and directly penetrated the mutant wild boar's neck. Ho ho ho! A painful roar came from the mouth of the mutated wild boar. The whole body was pierced by Po's claws, and the internal organs flowed all over the floor. Not holding on for long, the huge body fell heavily to the ground. Roar. End of this chapter.